Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the 13th episode, I think, of the B Talk podcast. Today, we have another interesting episode. We're with the one and only Mr. Mustache Sunglasses Hat Wearer himself, Birch. How's it going, man?
Hello. It's been good. It's been good. It's a very interesting time
To say
for
the
me
least.
personally.
Yeah. Let's just start off, I guess. So, how are you doing as of recent, man?
I would say more or less I'm doing good, especially now that some sort of stress sources have been eliminated, specifically the Maliszewski video. I'm very certain we'll get into that later anyways, so I
Yeah.
won't delve into that too much. I've been also trying to reinvent the way I work,
Mm-hmm.
specifically in like university. I've changed my laptops and I'm trying to switch to a different phone so that I don't have as many distractions. I'm a very big phone and computer addict and I desperately want to change that.
Nah, same,
But
same to be fair. Most people can relate, probably.
yeah, I switched to a I'm a very typical computer science student. I have a
A ThinkPad,
13-year-old
let's
ThinkPad
go. Let's
with
go.
Linux
Arch
and
Linux.
no, I'm not I'm not that type. I just have
I
a
use
mint.
Arch, by the way.
Hell no. I don't have that time and nor patience. So I just have Linux Mint. But
Ah,
it
Linux
it
Mint,
does
okay.
it does what I need. I just needed to take notes and run low-level programs. So it's perfect for that. And it
Yeah,
can't run really anything else, so it's really good for work.
yeah. My laptop specifically has Windows 11. Ew. But
I
like,
mean, that's what I use on my main desktop,
yeah,
and
same.
unfortunately, I have to stick with it because although Windows 11 sucks, unfortunately, most of the stuff, if not everything, runs the best on
On
Windows.
Windows, yeah, yeah. Main reason why I'm still using Windows 11 as well, which is
Yep.
just a shame. Maybe with time it will get better. Maybe with time it will get better.
We pray Da Vinci cares more about Linux soon enough.
True, true. Uh, all right, let's start off. So, what's your first ever introduction, not to Osu, but rather rhythm games in general? So you didn't start off with Osu.
Ooh, I didn't? Well,
Well, technically GD, but it isn't a rhythm
I
game.
get
You
what
get,
you mean.
yeah.
Uh, in that sense, yes, I did start off with Geometry Dash, and I think I found out about Geometry Dash like most people my age and during that time I found Geometry Dash. You saw someone playing at school and you downloaded the game and also played it. But it took me a bit to even like Geometry Dash. I think it was like fourth grade
Mm-hmm.
when it was the first time I saw Geometry Dash, and I didn't care about the game, or more like I sucked too much of the game to put in time.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like 2 years later, in like the sixth grade, I downloaded the game again because a friend of mine was playing, and for some reason it just clicked, and I started playing the game more and more. And I eventually also bought it on my PC and put in like 1,600 hours before I stopped for like 5 years in 2021, 2022. So
Yeah.
that was my first introduction to sort of one of the two games I've put in the most amount of hours in. But well, Osu is a different story. But on a side note, I strongly disagree that Geometry Dash is a rhythm game. It is not. It's a
Nah.
platformer that just has music, and I'm tired of this debate.
I mean, it's a music-based platform at the end of the story. Everyone
Exactly.
knows it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but is the way you got like introduced to Osu somewhat related to Geometry Dash in any way, shape, or form? By the way,
It
since you said it's a different story, but
yeah, it's kind of a 50-50. I have two stories for how I got introduced into Osu. The first one was around 2017, 2018, 2019 when Fortnite was really popular.
Fortnite.
I was a very big Fortnite player. I loved that game to death. And one of my favorite streamers I watched was TSM Myth. And one thing he did
Hmm.
very often was warm up on his streams, and he would play Osu, and I downloaded it for the reason
What?
to improve my aim. Of course, it
Ah,
wasn't a good method to improve your aim, so I didn't really care about the game for a year. But then, come like 2020, 2021, I saw one of the GD top players upload a video on about Osu. I think it was a play on Marshmurray. It was
uh-huh.
like a 100 PP play, and I believe it was Lolwood. For those who are in the GD community, might know Lolwood. He's a pretty interesting figure to say the least. But I saw that video and I was like, I should play this game again. And ever since that day, I've been thinking about Osu almost every single day, probably every single day.
Yeah, so it's that second time you got introduced to the games, things started to click. But it's similar to like your story with Geometry Dash as well.
Yeah, yeah. I guess there's a pattern. Maybe there's another game I should pick up for the second time
Pa-
again.
Pattern recognition moment. Yeah, that's a bit funny, to say the least.
Yeah, and I think when I started playing Osu, like seriously, I also stopped playing Geometry Dash because I just didn't care about the game. I hit a plateau, but that's more because I don't put enough effort in games to improve above a certain level.
Uh-huh. Got it. You just wanna just play them for fun mainly.
I mean, I want to improve. I'm not dedicated enough in games to improve. I'm very average at every single game I play.
Yeah, but something you are a bit more dedicated to nowadays is content creation.
For
And
sure.
and how did it even start? What made you even like get into content creation?
Well, I think content creation predates everything we've currently talked about. It I think as a kid I just really enjoyed YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
of course I wanted to become a YouTuber. So I had countless channels with a lot of videos. There was one channel that I unfortunately deleted because I think I forgot to log out of it on like a computer or like a family computer,
Mm-hmm.
and my sister saw those videos, and so I just deleted every single video and that channel entirely.
Ah.
Unfortunately, 'cause I do remember some videos. They were very interesting, very. I don't even want to explain them, but I can't see them. They don't exist anywhere besides my mind and maybe some people on the internet. And over time, just I tried making videos, and even with Geometry Dash, I have some Geometry Dash video. I think nowadays most of the videos that are not level completions are public, so you can see my sort of earlier adventures into more serious content creation.
Yeah.
But with Osu, it was mostly I gotta say, it was mostly Brahmasterel. I don't think there was really anyone else besides him that really not only inspired me to start making my own videos, but really also pushed me.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind back then, I was a pretty egotistical and yeah, I was a pretty egotistical
Egotistical.
kid, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, I can make better videos than him. My earlier videos definitely weren't better. They were maybe similar in quality, but I had this sort of egotistical view. I've definitely changed over time. At least I would like to hope so. And yeah, Brahm Astro was nonetheless an inspiration. And then around the time I started making Osu videos, a lot of other content creators started popping on the scene, and they were also an inspiration because Osu documentaries and just uh, that type of video was really common back then, but it kind of has dwindled away. And I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, Willie still occasionally makes some Osu documentaries, but I'm pretty sure
Not
besides,
not always though. I think he mainly just uploads like cool scores that he does or something
yeah,
interesting that he does on
he,
his
yeah,
streams.
he still has some interesting videos, and he did upload an Mrekk documentary last year, so I would still put him in the conversation of Osu player documentarians. And
Yeah.
and myself included. Other besides me and him, I don't think there are people who make Osu player documentaries right now, or at least in like the last year or even two.
Yeah.
But nerdiness occasionally pops up.
Nerdiness, yeah, but he's sort of not just for player documentary exclusively, more like as to like certain topics, if you know what I mean, certain events,
Yeah,
if you think
I
about
mean he
it.
started with like very interesting statistics with like medals and stuff.
Yeah, that as well. Like fun facts. He's again, he does occasionally make documentaries. I think his like last one was on BTMC's tournament career specifically. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Uh Me personally, for example, into how I got into content creation, straight up shit posting. Like I just like made funny edits which occasionally turned into like Osu compilations, which somehow turned into Osu news.
Yeah, I remember I saw the Osu French MFs be like where you play with like the
Baguette.
7 day croissants or
Yeah.
just regular baguettes.
Yep.
It, that's how I found out about your channel, but I think it Stu and that video didn't kind of click
Yeah.
before the whole Osu news thing happened.
Hmm.
Only then did I connect the dots.
Yeah, and also, what was the other video that a lot of people hold up? Ryuki out of
Ryuke
context.
moments
Yeah,
out of
Ryuki out of
context, yeah.
yeah, Ryuki out of
And
context. Lots
I
of
think
people
we
don't
have
know
a
that I made that video.
I think we have a very similar sort of thing with our channels that for both of us, shit posts are the most viewed videos. I still
Yeah.
cannot beat my Osu players in a nutshell that I made in like 2 hours on a random, I don't know, random weekday,
Yeah,
and it's still my
same.
most viewed video.
S- Same.
I can't beat it.
One of my most popular out of context videos was like the Osu clips out of context or something like that. Not the Ryuki one, the other one that I made. And I remember making that one at like 2 or 3 a.m. or something like that, the day before like the finals of my high school or something like that, which was kind of a core memory. And I remember like the next day seeing, holy shit, 5,000 views.
Yeah,
That was
I
like
don't even
crazy to me.
I don't remember how my video took off. I don't think it got like all of the attention initially. It had like a delay, but I just remember I had that Top Gear Osu intro sitting in Premiere Pro ready to just be posted somewhere. And I was like, why not make one of those clip compilation videos? And yeah, it did pretty well. It did pretty good.
Yep, still our most viewed videos despite not being that type of channel. Incredible.
I I I I I, I wouldn't say I hate it. I just dislike that that is the video that is most viewed.
Mm. Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, unfortunate. I guess. It's whatever.
YouTube just they just sometimes know that okay, this video was not as effortful. Let's boost this one in particular.
Yeah, it just does that sometimes. Sometimes. But would you say that like you stopping to make like Geometry Dash videos is related to you stopping like in general making playing the game?
No, I just think I didn't play the game that much at that time, and I was just far more interested in Osu. I think the content is what I make video wise is related to what I do. So if I still play Geometry Dash, I would still make Geometry Dash videos. Osu was just something I was more interested in and just made videos related to Osu.
Yeah.
I don't think I opened GD for like 3 years straight after I stopped
Jeez.
playing the game.
Jesus, that's a long time. That's a
Yeah.
really long time. Must have really disliked the game back then.
No, it wasn't like I disliked it. I just
Tired of it, let's say, tired of it.
probably I don't really remember what my reason was. I simply just didn't care about playing the game anymore.
Yeah. Uh, do you still play these games today though? Both those two and Geometry Dash.
Oh yes, Geometry Dash. I've recently more come back to the game. I'm trying to beat an extreme demon, but again, I just can't put in the time. I can't play a single level for more than like 20 minutes at a time. So I don't know how soon I will beat an extreme demon. I need a very good reason. But Osu, it's interesting. This year, I haven't really had a proper session. Uh, I don't really know why. I just don't feel that interested in the game. I don't think it's because I'm more interested in Geometry Dash.
You just don't feel like playing it,
Yeah,
right?
sometimes you just don't want to. I want to play some other games. I want to work on other stuff. I guess I do prioritize university a bit more, so I have less free time. And in my free time, I much rather prefer making videos about Osu. And if I want to play a
Then
game, it will most likely be Geometry Dash.
so yeah, it's just that type of period, I guess, doesn't really
Yeah,
correlate to like each other and everything. I mean, even I'm like taking a bit of a break from Osu. I used to like crank up like 1K play count every single month. Nowadays, like I don't think I even have like 1K play count this month. I mean, the
yeah.
last month, my bad. Last month, right?
Personally, personally, I haven't even ever been that active in Osu. I think I've only had out of like 4 years of playing this game. I think I've only had like maybe 10 months where I've put in more than 1,000 plays. I've
Hmm.
never really been that active, which I think just correlates to the fact that I don't really put in that much effort into like improving at games and you know because Osu is so related to improving and getting better. I just don't put in as much time as some other games like I don't know Terraria or
Yeah,
yeah, Terraria
yeah.
is a pretty big
Terraria
one.
Terraria is pretty cool. Haven't played it in a bit, but it's still pretty cool. What? But you follow both communities though, also in the Geometry Dash community. What would you say is like?
Yes.
Do you think what are the like, let's say similarities or like differences between the communities that you've like noticed that you maybe like or dislike? Let's say.
Uh, Definitely both communities hate the developer, or maybe not hate, but there are certain aspects of the developer that they heavily dislike. I
Yeah.
think with Geometry Dash and Osu, there are definitely valid criticisms for both of the developers, but again, no one is going to be a perfect developer. That's an oxymoron, but I think with Geometry Dash, I one of the biggest arguments that forever has also kind of, I suppose, confused me is that why is Rob Top still the only person who actually rates the levels? He is
Yeah.
the only one in control, at least to the public knowledge. That maybe he just hasn't told anyone, but I think that that fact would have leaked a long time ago.
Yep.
I like the Osu system. I'm still not as well versed about how actually OSU rankings work, what do BNs do, and that process, but that feels a lot better structured than it is in Geometry Dash. But that's not typically the complaint about like Peppy relating to him being a developer.
Yeah. From what I know, uh, as for like the BN system, basically I think two people need to nominate a singular map that they think can be rankable. In that period, multiple BNs and NATs even I think check out the map, see if there's like any problems or not. If there is a problem, veto the one thing a lot of people hate.
Yeah.
But if there isn't, in that like 1 week period of time, the map gets ranked, which is
Yeah, I
a
know those terms, but I think I just don't care that much about the whole map ranking process to really know how it works. And in Geometry Dash, it's just simply more
oh
simple.
yeah, it's like, oh, Rob Top checked it out, it looks cool. I'll rate it. But the
Yeah, I
fact that
mean
it's
they
like on a singular person,
yeah,
he
I mean
put
they
that
have
rate.
mods who send levels so that RobTop has like a more dedicated access to levels that have the potential to be rated, but at the end of the day, he is the only one who actually can rate a level. Doesn't
Oh,
matter how many mods send a level.
yeah, and
But
that's surprising the development. takes like a lot of time because of that. Like for the
Yeah,
game,
and I think both developers have uh, that
like stubbornness. You what you saying or what?
what's the word? Like not a I guess a personality trait. They have a very similar personality trait in that aspect, but it doesn't sort of result in the same things. It's just
Yeah.
very similar to both of them, where Peppy often doesn't listen as much to like Osu people, and yeah, but at least both games still are actively being developed, which is kind of insane to think, especially about Osu. Osu's what,
Se-
18 years old now,
18
and
years.
Peppy
Yeah.
is still working on the game. Of course, he's not the only one, but it is still very insane that he is developing the game and keeping it running.
Yep. Definitely. But
But another some more similarities about the communities. I'd say they're both relatively positive. Though with Osu, in recent, maybe not years, but in recent times in general, the community has become a bit more negative and more doomeristic. But I think overall, both communities are more positive than any other games community I've stumbled upon.
hmm, but yeah, there's lots of positivities in both communities, realistically. But
I think
since you
because both games are like relatively niche, maybe Geometry Dash not as much so nowadays, considering it is becoming really popular.
it's quite
But
literally
both,
blowing up.
yeah, but the more tight knit communities have always been relatively small. So I think that just makes them feel more lively and organic compared to like other games.
Yeah. And that's why you see also a lot of negativity, but also a lot of positivity at the same time, which is
Yeah, because a lot more voices are
heard.
seen
Yeah,
in
seen
both
and heard.
communities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But is there anything in particular you hate about the Osu community, let's say? Since you've mentioned, the hatred as of recent.
Anything in particular? I don't know. Maybe because I don't really try and focus on the negatives, I don't have a specific thing I dislike about the Yosu community. Maybe from like a personal perspective, as a content creator, and this is something a lot of people have said, is if you have problems with like Osu content being bad, Osu maps being bad, some specific thing where you have also the control to improve it, why don't you put in the effort instead of putting the effort into writing words about how said thing
Should
is
be done.
bad?
And it should be done.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like,
especially with content creation. Like I think the bar for Osu content really isn't high.
yeah.
And I can attest to it with me getting to this position with the content I made in the beginning. Uh, yeah, I think most people have the ability to make good videos.
100% would agree with you would agree with you on that, and especially with the fact that currently there's like a lot of untapped things in the user community that could be tapped into. We'll get into that a bit more later though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely an aspect I would agree on that the user community can be disliked about. Also, the recent like is it like gatekeeping slash aura farming type like thing a lot of players do
Oh,
nowadays?
yes. Yeah, a lot of people have talked about this, and I didn't really notice it before, but since like Mrekk has mentioned it, the Zudinator has mentioned it, a lot of people have mentioned that most modern top players just aura farm, have no hand cam, don't use a microphone. It the top player scene is definitely a lot more boring compared to prior years.
Yeah.
But as as Zudinator said, it's also primarily because the top players are pretty young, so it's fair for them to, not show their selves or reveal their voice or use their voice on streams on videos. So I also understand that perspective.
Yeah, that was. But not only that, I don't know if you've seen. There was like on TikTok this one trend about like, what was it like the also holy fucking airball, like trend if you remember that. Would you say
Uh,
like,
I don't know that one.
yeah, it was like you play rhythm games, all like blah 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 blah, like they would name some other games and then they will show also holy fucking airball, like as in the other ones are like inferior
Oh,
to also, you know what I mean?
yeah. Even though Osu, I'd say, is like the most basic of rhythm games. It's like
Yeah.
the most vanilla rhythm game. That's not a bad thing. It's just Osu is the most popular one, but it's also the most basic one, which most of the time, with something being more basic, it becomes more accessible to more people. So those are typically the factors that almost go hand in hand. So
Yeah,
that's a bit understandable.
but
Osu is
it's,
still a good game.
you know
I can't take
what's,
that away from Osu.
you know what's funny, you say it's basic, but a lot of people like that don't play also or like try to get into it say it's complicated, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I think part of the reason for that is the Osu UI, and maybe this will come up in a later conversation, but I really dislike the Osu UI, and I think that's one of the reasons why Osu has been held back in popularity for so many years, especially the laser UI. It's even worse in my
Is it?
opinion.
In your
I
humble
I
opinion, okay, okay.
in my opinion, I think if you're a beginner who doesn't know anything about Osu, menus in both stable and laser are so overwhelming, especially laser because it has so many more mods. The default menu is
The
not
st-
really understandable.
the statistics, yeah, those can be pretty confusing to be fair. Not gonna lie.
You're not even talking about like the results screen, but the whole UI everywhere. And I think Laser suffers because of the time it was made in. It was made like this futuristic rhythm game, but anytime you try and make something futuristic, it becomes obsolete within like 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely
Like you can
understand.
see it by the Osu Laser, the intro. It is so. I
I don't
think
know.
that represents my argument the
I
most.
don't know. I like it. I look like it.
I think it does too much.
Fair enough.
I think you can change it, but it being the default one, I think it's doing too much. I think it's doing too much. Yeah.
Fair enough. Speaking of which, I think you kind of answered this already. What inspired you to make documentary type videos? You said
It was Brahmastra.
Brum
It
Master
was
L. Yeah.
maybe like Willie's video on Cookiezi. Oh, and maybe underrated, but oftentimes forgotten video. God, I forgot his name from, but the
Launch.
everything the Everything Will Freeze documentary. That
Oh,
is my favorite. That is my all-time favorite documentary-esque video.
damn! I forgot his
I
name.
forget the name.
Yeah.
A Gray Spoon? A Gray Spoon?
No. What?
Maybe his name was. I'm going to look it up real quick, but that is definitely
Uh,
my favorite Osu video.
everything will freeze. Osu. Let me check real quick. Uh,
Stephen Clark.
Stephen
Stephen
Clark.
Clark.
Yeah, Stephen
That's
Clark.
the name.
Yeah,
That's the name. I don't
yeah.
know where I got a gray spoon from. Maybe like Twitter, but yeah, Stephen Clark. That video is fantastic, and he has a very similar in quality to the Genryu Kaiko one. I think that could be an that potentially is an even better one because what he does in that video, which I don't think I've seen anywhere else, is talk about the structure of the song and how it's represented with the map, and that's like so peak.
Yeah,
And his voice is incredible.
yeah.
That just adds to it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he dipped though. He
Yeah, those are like the
dipped, man.
two videos he's most known for. and almost like the only ones he has. The other ones are on like more random topics.
Yeah, it's not quite on Osu. Um, but yeah, over time you've made like a lot of videos. What would you say is like, and of course, with making loads of videos, you've got good at editing. How did you like improve at it? What would you say are like some tips you can give to some people to get improve at editing in general?
I think just watching a lot of other videos, how other people do stuff from other communities. But the main way I improved, I would say, is just looking at my own video and trying to get at least one thing from it, what I did bad and that I can improve in the next video. In the beginning, it was not having background music. I added that. Then it was improving the tempo of my voice because I used to speak so slowly and in such a monotone way. I think my voice nowadays sounds a lot higher than before just because I tried to put on this fake nonchalant voice.
Okay,
It
pyrocynical.
literally pyrocynical. But yeah, I mean, at that age, a lot of people are insecure about many things, and I think being insecure about your voice is a very normal thing. But speaking with a more enthusiastic voice is always going to be better than trying to sound as deep as possible.
Mhm.
But I fixed my voice. Then just I think looking at your video timeline can also help. If you see bits where there's just one type of like clip going and it's pretty long, you can definitely add something else. Just try and analyze your videos. If you were a viewer and you were watching that video that you're making for the first time, what would like turn you off from the video? What would make you click off? And also, what makes you stay for that video? Those are also important. It's also important to know what you're good at.
Honestly, yeah, I can see that. I mean,
But I do want to add as well. I think music is one of the most important parts of a video, and I think that's one of the aspects I am uh, one of one of my personal aspects that is higher on like skill wise or impressiveness wise. And if you are uh, struggling with finding non-copyrighted music, most of my recent videos will do have a document with every single song listed, or more or less every single song, with a title, with a corresponding timestamp. So if you need uh, copyright-free music, look at those documents, especially in the Maliszewski video. That has like 220 songs. Like you can be set for your YouTube career with
oof,
those songs.
yeah. Uh, by the way, that's something I wanted to ask. By the way, how do you even like find these songs? You know, non-copyrighted everything.
Yeah,
Like,
uh, in the beginning, and I guess it really hasn't changed. It's just YouTubers I watch most of
hmm
the time have either fan made playlists or credit the music themselves. The first person from whom I took music from was GMD Blue. He has
hmm
like some Geometry Dash documentaries and has made many Nintendo game icebergs or iceberg videos in general. He has very good music. I usually took from him. Then it was Amplemon. Then it was obviously Summoning Salt. But his music was very his music, and
yeah.
anytime I used one of those songs, I felt like, "Ah, this is such a Summoning Salt song." And what I did merely by accident, or not by accident, but out of curiosity, I just Googled PlayStation 2 music, and I found this playlist with over 2,000 songs,
Two
and almost
thousand.
2,000. Some of them aren't, good or usable in a video, but almost every single song in my Maliszewski video is from that playlist. So the yeah, that playlist is amazing. I can send you the link and you can link it in the description. So if someone is curious about that playlist in particular, they will find
You,
it in the
you,
description of
you
this
definitely should.
conversation.
You definitely
Yeah,
should. That's a gold mine, bro.
yeah. But I think I shared it with you and the other OsuTuber folks
the
in. the server.
I think you shared the document. Was
I
it?
also did share the playlist, but I think because it was so long ago, because as you know, the Maliszewski video did take some time, that it could be lost to memory, which is fair.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, a long time ago. Worked on that for a long time. Speaking of long things, what even made you like
Pause.
pause? What made you even like work on like super long videos?
I think it's just
Bro, long videos. Okay,
I
okay.
think I think you can just notice a trend with my videos. Almost every single one of my documentary after another one is longer. The Lifeline one was relatively short, like 13 minutes. Then it was like a Repersian one, which was 19 minutes. Then Chicony one was like 23 minutes. Then the first big one was the Rafis one, which was an hour. And then I did make a Dinkelpuss one, which was like the second time I made a video on Dinkelpuss. It was 30 minutes, which is shorter than the Rafis video, but also Rafis does have a slightly longer career. And then obviously the
Yeah.
Maliszewski video, which I doubt I will top in terms of length for years. And I'll probably get into why later. But yeah, why they became longer? It's one of my sort of, I guess, writing issues is I don't want to not say important details. And I don't know when that sort of importantness stops. So I try to explain it as much as possible so that there isn't some nitpicky commenter saying, oh, but you didn't mention this. Oh, but what is this? I want most people who watch the video to watch it and understand what is going on, especially people who don't know Osu. And that was one of my goals with more recent documentaries, and I believe especially with the Maliszewski one, I have relatively successful with that. I've had some non-Osu people watch the video, and most of them said, "Really great watch. I especially appreciate that you explained Osu terms, Osu stuff for someone like me." So I'm very happy about that. That yeah
One of them, so basically you just wanted to appeal to like more people and that are,
yeah
outside of the Ulster community, which is
Yeah,
why.
because I think Osu videos for the longest time have been made for Osu people. Like if you don't play Osu and watch the typical Osu documentary, I'm not going to throw names because that's there. Everyone makes content the way they want to make content, and it sometimes does feel a bit redundant explaining the basics of Osu, like what is hard rock or what is hidden. But if you were someone who doesn't play Osu and watch like the typical in quotation marks Osu documentary, let's just say one of my older ones, you wouldn't understand certain things about the video, and I think that's just ruins the viewing experience, and that's why that's the biggest reason why
Yeah.
in most of my recent Osu videos I've tried to explain Osu from like the ground up. Obviously not everything, but the more important aspects. So
y-
because if maybe you know what is hard rock or what is hidden, but what is three mod?
Yeah, true.
Because
Like
is it just
those
three
terms.
mods or is it a specific mod combination, which it obviously is?
Yeah. Loads of terms that a lot of people need to understand before they can actually watch like a short OC documentary, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's why my videos have become a lot longer. It's just explaining more stuff and more in detail.
yeah, so just covering as much as possible.
Yeah, also like honing in on more specific details, like saying, let's say, oh, this was his first 1000 PP score. Okay, but what did it mean? Maybe it meant something more than just that to the player or their
Why it was so
country,
special,
or
yeah.
in context of at the time of the Osu community, what was the state of the game? Because like if I was talking about Vaxen, oh yeah, his first 1K was on Tsukinami. Well, it wasn't just that it was his first 1K, it was the entire game's first
First
1000
1K.
PP play.
Yeah.
And it was like a score that only I think it was last year. Was it sniped? It was a really insane score to even be the first 1000 PP play. So like
True.
honing in on those more specific impressiveness aspects of certain achievements of players. Yeah,
Takes time to make those documentaries for sure as well. I mean, I've made like a few player documentaries as well,
yeah.
specifically working on like which one's well, which one was the last one I've made? I think it was
Was it Nenerics?
Nenerics, yeah. And I remember I made that video in like one day, but I started like nah, I don't think it was in one day though. I don't know. I don't quite remember. But
Yeah.
I do remember I like worked on the video from like 6 p.m. and then I finished at 6 a.m. the next day.
Holy. Yep.
Like it takes time to make those videos, even like short
Yeah.
documentaries sometimes. Like
That is
lots,
still commendable.
yeah,
Yeah.
lots of
That
footage.
that that is a lot of time to put in a single video.
Yeah, I mean you've put a lot more time though.
Well, okay,
Let's be
it's a
realistic.
it's a different
Let's
game.
be realistic, bro.
Our upload schedules also reflect that.
Yep, yep, you don't say. Yeah, but like here's the thing though. Like a lot of people be wondering, like you take a lot of time to, make those videos. Like let's say the Maliszewski one now that you mention it took 10 whole months, maybe even a year. I don't know exactly when you started it, but like how do you even stay motivated to work on like such long projects for like that long of a period of time?
That's a good question because I really don't have a one size fits all answer. It's multiple things, really. I think having sort of a timeline for yourself, when are you going to work on the video, and setting specific goals were the biggest sort of pushers of progress. Because I had the whole thing structured. I had certain like rules for myself. Like I I couldn't start editing the video until I was done with my exams because I didn't want that to interfere with them. So I had more time to spend on research and stuff like stuff like that, conducting interviews and just having a more quality sort of script. Uh, that is a that was probably the biggest, well, maybe not motivator, but as I said, progress pusher. But also outside stuff, other videos, watching other videos was really motivating. One video that I think throughout making the Maliszewski video, I watched it a total of 3 times, which might not sound like a lot, but it was the H Bomber guy plagiarism video, which, if you know what that video is, it is 3 hours and 50 minutes long. So having watched it 3 times in like
3 hours.
less than a year is crazy. But that video was weirdly motivational because like one of the lines in that video is a lot of people, something along the lines of a lot of people don't value creative work until they have to do the creative work slash not steal, which like the video was about plagiarism, so that's why the
Yeah.
sentence was there, and that was really motivational. And I also had a sponsorship that failed, but because I had like a strict
Ah,
deadline,
man.
it helped push the progress of the video a lot. I think I edited an hour of the video in a week, which
Just
that
because
pace,
of that.
yeah. I mean, I had a month to edit 2 hours. So yeah, editing an hour in a week was sort of like a necessity to reach that deadline. But yeah, and another motivating part was Poland winning the OWC because
Hmm.
seeing that, I was like, okay, this is going to be the perfect ending for the video
Yeah, you had
because
to lock in. You had to lock in, bro.
because low key, I don't I didn't want to end the video on Maliszewski slash Poland getting second place in the OSU World Cup. That would have been a bit devastating. So ending it on like the highest note, it was a boom, a mic drop moment.
Yep, yep.
That
when
that's why in that's why if you've seen the video, I don't comment. I don't say anything about the victory. I just sort of let it happen because you can form your own conclusions after watching more than 3 hours about the player the video it's about.
yep, yeah, that was that's interesting. That's interesting because like I personally, I don't think I would mentally be able to, work on one singular thing for like that long, honestly.
I think if I knew how long the video was actually going to be before I started writing the script, I wouldn't have done it. Because I actually didn't plan on the video even being close to that length. Uh, it it will sound funny, but initially I was like, okay, I want to make a video that's not too long, not like Rafis length, but also not short. Oh, Maliszewski would be interesting because he's a tournament player, and there aren't that
Surely.
many tournament videos. It could be like a
Yeah.
40-minute
Yeah.
video. Maybe it will reach Rafis length. It reached the Rafis length and I
Times
was still in like 2022 timeline wise. It
time
was
Rafis length times three times.
yeah, almost four.
So that's essentially how
Whoops.
you got the idea of like making a Maliszewski documentary, or
I think I wanted to kind of challenge myself because most of my documentaries were on players that weren't really active in the tournament scene, or they played in some tournaments, but it wasn't like a notable part of their career. Okay, for Rafis, OWC 2017 and 2015 were obviously very, very important parts of his history, but those are like only two tournaments, and I think after that, I only mentioned Resurrection Cup because that was
yeah,
his first win since the
yeah,
OWC 2017. So it was just like three tournaments, so it wasn't really anything too big. But Maliszewski is the complete opposite. He does have important scores, but obviously everybody knows Maliszewski primarily from tournaments. But I would say his solo plays are just as impressive as his tournament plays, achievements.
yeah. Which is why you try to like balance both throughout the video with like the Maliszewski tradition, as you call it. As
A lot of the stuff I write in the video is just this is so silly. I should write this down, and it ends up in the video and being like a theme in the video because the Maliszewski tradition came randomly. I was like, oh, I see a pattern. And that pattern was very prevalent for a
pattern
big part of his
recognition.
career. Yeah, and same with like making the enemy slash rivals list. That was also just a placeholder thing that turned to be a theme in the video or like a very notable part of the video, like the wall of players.
Pinpoint the players type shit. Yeah, one player, another player, second player. I mean, it sort of came out like a hit list if you think about it.
Yeah, but also it's important to mention, as I said in the video, it's not an enemy list, it's a rivals list. They're not enemies.
Yeah, yeah. Or are they? Hmm.
Well, okay,
It,
maybe
it,
some
it,
players. I'm not going to mention which players, but some are definitely more of enemies rather than rivals. But you can go figure which ones those are. I'm not going to comment on that.
or are you sure about that? Drop a Vsauce music drop.
Or are they?
Or are they? Yeah. Uh, it would be funny if like there's like a certain player that in the future becomes like Maliszewski, like wins the tournament or a tournament ends, oh, scores, and then like, oh shit, he's doing the Maliszewski tradition.
Maliszewski tradition.
Yeah, he's doing the Maliszewski tradition.
I mean, I think it's just coincidental because you practice for a tournament, you primarily only play the tournament stuff, and then the tournament ends, you play some more single player maps. So I think it's just for a lot of players that tradition probably exists. It's just funny to notice it.
Yeah, but now that we are like already deep into the topic about the Maliszewski documentary, um,
my legacy.
Why? So as to why you didn't why you made it long, you said like it wasn't intentionally made long. It was like as sort of the process as it went,
Yeah.
and right. But was it worth it? Would you say?
Oh, I don't like this question. Um, I, but I would say my answer is yes, because I think it's the biggest project in anything that I've worked on. Well, definitely the biggest project. I don't think anything even comes close to it. No school project, no just personal project. This one thing that I worked on from start to finish and finished it. It's probably the biggest video worked on, and I think there is a lot of value in having a project like that you worked on for a long time and that you not only started and put in a lot of effort, but that you also finished. Because I think with videos, with art creations, it's kind of hard to find the point where you're like, okay, the video is done. I can upload it, I can show it, or just archive it, whatever you do with videos. So having had having done that project will definitely help with in future endeavors, like making
Whatever.
a big programming project or another video. Having this experience will definitely be beneficial in the future and in the present.
Yeah, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. Wait, what I wanted to ask is like, have you ever gotten like any DMs or anything from Maliszewski after the video? Because like, I don't think he like publicly ever acknowledged the video, from what I know.
Uh, Unfortunately or fortunately, no, but
Hmm.
there is no but. Yeah, he hasn't stated anything, but I don't. Uh,
You don't hold it like a grudge against that, right?
yeah, yeah, no, he is a very self-preserved person, and yeah, he isn't really sociable, so it's okay. It doesn't hurt me. I don't think about it when I'm going to sleep. It's it's all right.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
still saw the video twice before anyone else, so uh,
yeah.
he said enough in those reviews. So that
Yeah. Nah, it's fine, it's fine. Just wanted to
he
ask
kind of
because
did.
like, again, because like there wasn't really any, uh, there wasn't any, public like info about his, Oh my god, I cannot speak. You get my point.
Yeah, but I think he probably told some other people he's more close to, because really most people I make videos on, uh, I wouldn't say are my friends, because I think when the video is done, that's it. I
That's
don't
it. Yeah, I
I don't think
completely
I've
get it. Yeah,
yeah, which is fine. I don't expect every person I make a video on to be my friend or that be my intention.
I
So
mean,
that's totally fair. It's
of
like
course,
they're kind of like my coworker in a sense,
sort of, kind of.
from a different department.
Let's say coworker that like tells you everything about their work and like uh, I don't know. They
They're a
do that.
mentor.
Yeah, and they do that for free, zero payment.
True, true. Uh, Luckily, no one has asked me for any payment yet.
Hope so.
No, no, no.
Nah, that would be
That would be wild. That would be
nah, that would
wild.
be so wild though. Imagine like, yo, you want to make a video with me? 50% of the pay right now.
I think I would just tell them, okay, I'm this isn't going to work. I'm just going to do my own research.
Yeah.
But I think for most players, they want the most accurate information to be in a video about them, especially with th- when I was making my Rafis video and I was
Uh-huh.
done with the script.
Yeah.
He asked me. I didn't mention it to him that could you review it. He specifically asked me to review the script because there was a video that was very misrepresentative of his history, and he wanted this video to, well, sort of
Yeah.
not do that.
Was it the Brewmaster L video, by the way, by any chance?
Yeah, I mean there isn't. I don't think there's another Rafis video, but
Yeah.
yeah, there are even comments in the Brahmaster L video which critique the inaccuracies and just not mentioning important aspects of Rafis's career. So yeah, I think he was just low key traumatized from that video.
Yeah. I can see why though.
But yeah, I mean, I've done bad research myself, so it's understandable, especially when you're starting out. I think Brian Masterell's Rafis video was like one of his early ones, so it's very
Very early,
understandable.
yeah.
You'll make mistakes, have shortcomings in the video, so it's nothing against him.
Yeah, nothing against Brewmaster L at all. In fact,
I mean,
like, wasn't he like
without
the
him, I
initial?
probably wouldn't be making these videos.
Yeah, not to mention he's like the first initial person to like make even these types of documentaries.
Ooh, no, 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 no.
I mean, no,
Uh,
no, 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 like popularize them. I should have said popularize them. Let's say
Yeah,
that.
he
Let's
he
say
was the
that.
first who was solely focused on them because
Yeah.
Willie was definitely way before him,
Yeah,
and
I
he
would have.
has like the most popular Osu documentary, the Cookiesy one.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Willie. Sorry, Willie. By the way, if you're watching this, I was gonna say Willie is the person that like, let's say, formed like the idea. Created the idea of those types of videos, but like Brawl definitely popularized them
Yeah,
in a sort of
yeah.
way. And he got
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
that's not ridiculous to say it at all. And he also got way better with time, of course.
Yeah,
He,
both of them.
his last few videos being pretty good for most of the part, let's say. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely in
Uh,
the research department, they're better.
yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like the research department. But yeah. Is there? I mean, from the many videos that you've made so far, like documentaries, is there any video that's like you kind of sort of like aren't that I mean not regret, but let's say you're not happy with how it turned out?
Mm. I wouldn't say my early ones because I was just not as skilled at the time. Of course, they could have been better, but I wouldn't say I regret the way they turned out. There is one video that doesn't exist on my channel anymore, and it wasn't like even an early one. It was like in the middle of my career. It was at the time when ChatGPT was still in its infancy, and I made a video. This video was written by AI.
Oh, I do remember that video. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why that video doesn't exist is because of my stance on using generative AI. Well, it obviously changed over time. I wasn't as educated on the topic at the time, and it maybe even wasn't as big of a concern at the time because I think image generation and video generation at least wasn't where it is now. And with how much the whole AI topic has changed and AI's impact on many avenues, or not avenues, but many areas and obviously creative avenues, I didn't want that video to be on my channel. I deleted it. It doesn't exist. Maybe someone has archived it, but I don't want it to be on my channel because it's not representative of what I think. And I'd say that's the only video that I'm not happy that I made. At the time it was different, but I deleted it
Yeah, yeah.
because my views not even changed. That I formed views on the topic of specifically generative AI because AI as a whole is such a big umbrella term. I need to specify that it's about generative
Generative AI.
AI.
Yeah. Most people are like, I mean, that's my sort of like my stance on AI from I don't know if I've ever publicly said it, but here it is right now. But like essentially if you use it as a tool for whatever it may be, completely fine. But if you try to replace the human input, especially if it's like generative AI as I say, where it literally steals people's work and tries to form some swap, and then is when most people have a problem, and I have as well.
Yeah, I get I get also that perspective. I've more or less stopped using AI even for studies because I think if you study yourself, if you use the materials that like your professors, your teachers give you, it's well, it's most likely going to be enough. And most of the time, when I've learned enough about the topic I know, I feel like AI is way too general for those topics or not specific in like what I need for my, I don't know, homework or tests that I refrain from using it simply because I feel like it's too dumb in that avenue. And most of the time, that is the truth. So even as a learning tool, I suppose, like maybe in
As a
there are
learning tool,
specific
definitely
areas.
be as a learning tool, it can definitely be useful. Like for example, I use it a lot for like studying, let's say, because like
There are subjects where it
sometimes,
definitely can help. Like I do use it, for example, in maths, because
yeah,
although
yeah,
my professors do give me uh, uh, learning material, a lot of the time the equations that are there don't have an answer, and it's really hard to study when you don't know if you're solving it the right way. So at least I have
true.
a reference to some specific answer, and sometimes I can deduce like, oh, it made a mistake there, that is not right. And at least at that moment, I'm like, okay, I know that I understand the topic well enough to even point out a mistake in something like an AI chatbot.
Yeah, exactly. I sometimes use it to like form, let's say, some type of quiz, let's say, from like multiple lectures.
Hmm.
And like I use that sort of way of like studying, let's say, for like whatever it may be. For
Yeah,
like,
it can definitely be useful, but I think currently with how much those AI data centers uh, use resources and
yeah,
not just water, but also money and everything around them. I try and refrain from using them as much as possible.
true,
And honestly, if I fail a test because I didn't study well enough, well, that's me.
true. I completely, uh, I completely like support your stance on it. I'm like,
Thank you.
completely
I do
fine with
have
that.
I do have an potentially upcoming video relating to that topic, but maybe we'll get into that a bit later because I've
S-
noticed you have question relating to future projects in your other
You
B
don't
Talk
say.
episodes.
You don't say. You don't say. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Let's switch it up a bit.
yeah.
Let's do like a random ass question. So, if we're comparing Emrekk and Zoink right now in terms of dominance, who would you say is more dominant?
Emrek.
And but okay, if
Okay.
someone were to get dethroned anytime soon, who would it be? Like on
In
the
both areas?
like the yeah, I mean yeah, in like both areas, the leaderboards specifically.
Hmm. Okay. Emrek dethroned forever or like a Kolibet did for like a brief period?
Let's say even, I mean, let's say like a brief period. Then
Yeah, I think the most obvious answer is going to be Taromi Vana, not only because he is the closest to Emrek, but he is able to put out PP plays that even exceed what Emrek has currently. Obviously, Emrek was nerfed. His 2K PP play was nerfed, and he doesn't even have a 1.9K at the moment, if I'm correct. And
mm-hmm.
Taromi Ivana has multiple. I think he holds like the four highest PP plays. So he's definitely the answer to that question for a brief period. I don't know if for a longer period, but I think uh, they're probably the person who will overtake Emrek in the long run and be the next dominant figure. My guess, they're not even in the top 10,
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, honestly, I think it's still way too early to tell if there's like anyone currently that is going to replace Semrek like that, for a
Yeah,
long period of time.
yeah.
Still, I mean, there is possibilities, but
Of
still,
course.
still not close. You
I
know.
mean, that time will eventually come, but I think it's for anyone, it's hard to imagine someone not just overtaking Emmerich, but we know that Emmerich isn't anywhere close to stopping. He will put in the hours and attempts to take back his throne or defend his throne, as he has done it well, many times now. But in the GD world, I would say it's also a very similar answer. It's the number two, I think number two player, W Popov,
Yeah, he is number
because
two.
not only is again he is the closest to Zoink, but he also is very young. I think he's 15 or 16.
16.
He yeah, he's able to beat levels that most people don't even touch. Like he beat Booba Wamba, which was he the first victor? I don't know, but
Second Victor. He was the second
second
Victor.
victor.
Yeah.
But out of like the but yeah, he's able to beat those levels and even well, uh he has beaten Thinking Space and Amethyst, though I don't think he beat Flame Wall yet.
Yeah, nah, he still has a lot of top tens to beat, especially with Orbit now placing at number five.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah,
it's gonna be it's gonna be hard.
but but I think the combination of his skill, determination, and especially his age, he is the contender to take Zoink's position.
Yep.
But of course, I think Zoink will also defend his position just like Amrek will.
I
They're both
mean,
very dominant and very passionate about being the number one person.
yep. And as it is right now, it's still a long time ahead before someone replaces them.
Yeah, I think in Osu it's a lot closer than in Geometry Dash. I think we'll see Emmerich be overtaken first, way before Zoink will be overtaken. Because Osu also just works differently. Like
Yeah.
Taromi Ivana could very well the next day overtake Emmerich. That is not going to work in GD.
Yep. I mean, to be fair though, in from what I know, W Popov hasn't submitted all of his like completions yet, so apparently it's like a bit more closer than people say it
Oh,
is in the points department. Apparently it's
wasn't there
like
what
apparently
wasn't there
it's
like a situation similar to that? Who was it that also submitted a lot of
Trick. It was Trick. Trick actually
yeah,
surpassed Zoink for like three
yeah.
months, and then Zoink got it back afterwards.
That's an interesting method, but yeah, that Osu doesn't work like that because your plays are automatically submitted.
Yep, yep. I now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the question that I've been asking for the past two interviews. What is your opinion on the current state of Osu and its content creation scene?
You know, I would have had a different answer a couple of months back, but I've slowly been drifting towards the more doomer aspect, but I am trying to still stay positive about Osu. Is Osu dying? No. I don't think Osu will die. I don't think it will die anytime soon. I think there are a lot of issues, and I think it's very counterproductive to try and pinpoint it to one thing. Like, oh, the meta sucks. Oh, the top players are aura farming. Oh, there's no content. It isn't just one of those things. It's every single one of those things.
Yeah,
But it isn't like content creation is dead. There are still people who make content. Obviously, it's a lot less. But as with all of most of those areas, I think it's a bit different with the top player stuff. But if if you're complaining about, like, let's say Osu content, again, what I said a couple of minutes back, make your own videos, especially nowadays that short form content unfortunately is the more dominant aspect. It's so much easier. Like I've been making some YouTube shorts. Some of you might may or may not have seen, but I've been making those YouTube shorts, and I gotta tell you, it's so fun. They're so low commitment. You can make one in like an hour, and they're fun, and and you can challenge yourself with editing because it's not a long video. So I think nowadays with how content in general just works differently, it should be easier for osu content to thrive, but not many people capitalize off it, and myself included. I view YouTube in the more old-fashioned way, that but I'm trying to cater more towards how YouTube works now with the whole shorts thing, but I still like the more old style videos where it's just
Mhm.
videos for the sake of videos. But I don't think that will change because that's just how I make videos and that's how I want to make videos. I don't want to cater, at least with the long form videos, to the more new age Mr. Beastification type videos.
Yeah, I mean, there still isn't quite a Mr. Mystification when it comes to like also content in general.
there there was someone who tried. Unfortunately, they got booted out of the Osu community. Unfortunately, I don't know.
Thou sh- those who snow. That's
Those
all I was.
crows
That's
and snow. Yeah,
crows and snow. Yeah, I'll just say
but
that.
it okay. Question to you: will that topic come up? Is he in?
Not quite. You can say right now.
Okay, my stance on John Porler is that I think the Osu community did treat him uh, a bit too like shit.
Hmm.
But what he does now is so deplorable and such bad content. Using low wage workers for your content to get views, even if they're fake, is just in this state of the world is just such a tone deaf thing to do.
In your personal opinion, I mean, I
Yeah, but I hope it's the opinion of a bit more than just a couple of people. 'Cause- okay, yeah, I think making videos where you exploit workers, even if they're fake, still will influence people. And of course, you can make the
yeah, yeah,
argument, well, that's their fault that they're falling for these fake videos, but it's also on you as a creator to try and dissuade people from doing what you do in those videos.
yeah. You can influence people if you're not careful, with what you do, especially when
Yeah,
with those types of videos.
you can influence people very easily, especially nowadays.
Yep, absolutely. The power of marketing via the internet is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, but back on track though. Also content. Uh, we kind of stirred in a bit. Beastification. We said.
Yeah, Mr. Beastification. That's such a funny term, but it 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 describes modern content pretty well. Not
Yeah.
everything, but what YouTube is at the moment, even in the shorts field.
Yep. Speaking of which, what the hell did I want to ask? So, yeah. What area in also content do you think there's like untapped potential and should be experimented with?
Hmm.
Since you just mentioned shorts, for example,
Yeah,
uh, and other stuff as well. So feel free to.
yeah. I have two answers for this. The first one is the shorts field. I think Osu could greatly benefit from channels equivalent to that of Secret Way in GD, for example. That's what
Shut
I'm
up.
trying to, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with a new project I've opened, Flow Aim Osu.
Hmm.
So, maybe that will come up later or not. But yeah, it's a channel where we'll primarily be making just Osu shorts about Osu lore, or just like tiny tidbits. And 'cause I don't want that on my main channel, so there's a place where you will find those types of videos. But another avenue where I've said this for, well, now many years, is top player videos. And it has had a resurgence. I have a video on my second channel, and I don't think it was influential. It was just coincidence that after that video where I talked about how there aren't that many top players making content anymore, and I pointed to examples of uh, like Aryu, where it's not even like high level editing is just compilations of clips from streams, uh, that those types of videos were very minimal nowadays. But coincidentally, after that video was published, well, not immediately, but players like Nappy started making content, Nineric started making content. Mrekk was also doing content previously, but he also has more moved towards making uh, top player content rather than just uploading plays.
Yeah.
And also, as of recent, I saw Cloppet making content as well. So shoutouts to all of those people, and I'm definitely forgetting some people. I don't have like a list with me. I just know some of these off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, like Zudinator, who's been doing content, but she also has been doing it before I had that uh, video uploaded. So she's been
Yeah.
doing it. She has more like the BTMC style content, where it's not just top player play, but also more videos.
Le funny moment happened le
Yeah,
video.
and like events.
Yeah.
Her videos on like drawing Osu stuff. That was a very interesting video.
Yep.
Stuff like that is always, in my opinion, going to
I
thrive
mean,
in any field.
it's not just that though. Like there's so much content that can be made on YouTube. It's I'm like
Yeah,
so much content that can be made on YouTube. No way you can upload content on YouTube. Incredible. I
mind
might
blown.
mind blown. What I wanted to say is like so much content can be made on like Osu. It's honestly insane. Like just recently, I know Shigesora tried to do this and then like stopped, but like you can easily there's like currently like a open market for this. Make like a daily dose of Osu clips type channel. Like it's quite literally right there for you. Like this presented like this for you, bro. You can
Yeah,
easily just
yeah.
like take a bunch of clips from YouTube, make a compilation out of them, add a little bit of commentary before each clip, and make
Hmm.
a funny thumbnail and title about it and blow up easily. Like there's
Yeah,
quite literally an easy market for that at the moment, especially
yeah,
with like how previously compilation channels were managed, right? With just being compilation channels, you couldn't monetize without some sort of editing or some sort of voiceover. But now with like what I just said, daily dose of Osu, let's say, you can easily make like a big channel with that. I personally don't want to make that because like I focus on other things, of course.
yeah.
But
I think especially
yeah,
because you can make those videos relatively short, you don't need to worry about not having enough clips to make like an 8-minute video, because I think videos like that are better if they're shorter. Obviously,
yeah,
they're going to make less, but you're also going to be putting less work per video. So it sort of like neutralizes in the end.
yeah. I mean, you don't necessarily have to upload daily, but like 2 to 3
Yeah.
times a week, it's still enough. You know, you're still
Even one even once a week. Like that's
yeah,
going to
even
be
once a
good
week.
enough.
Yeah, and you
Like
most
currently
likely
currently Osu is a bit stagnant. There isn't as much happening, so that's why I don't even think making a video every single day would be frankly wouldn't be possible. But once a week, I think is definitely doable, especially if it's like a 3 to 4 minute
yeah,
video.
yeah,
I
all
think those would be really fun.
yeah, definitely, and it's easy to catch up with the community. Maybe some people can get even recognition from those videos, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Lots of streamers have discovered from clips previously. Let's say,
yeah,
um, just an open market, quite literally. Reddit is an open source. Twitch literally has like an option on like the Osu category to like view the most viewed Twitch clips. Like, it's so
yeah,
simple,
yeah.
so
And
simple.
also, like in general for Osu content, Osu is such an old game. I don't think we will ever reach a point where we don't have stuff to cover in a video format. Like
Yeah,
Osu is older than most people playing it. It's a common joke, but it is especially true now because
yeah.
Osu is 18 years old.
True, and it's still growing. It's still growing. Maybe
Yeah.
okay. technically not growing as in like active players, let's say, but it's still
Yeah,
discovering new people.
yeah. New users are registering probably every day. Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention, with what I'm planning, hopefully I'll release that video this week. Maybe
Mhm.
even more people can get introduced to the game. We'll see.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, by the way, that's a little bit of a hint right there for my next vid.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's also kind of one of the things I've always wanted to achieve with my OSU documentaries and why I've been covering like the more basic OSU stuff in my videos is I want new people to discover OSU through content because that's how well, not discovered OSU, but got more into OSU. It was because of videos like that of Brahmaster Else. It was because of videos like from Chucky the Wolf, like clip
Yeah.
compilations. That those types of videos will not breed, but
Breed.
can introduce more and active people in the community, and it can just start a domino effect of many careers in the game, and just continue allowing the game to grow and be what it has always been.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, okay, so you sort of mentioned it previously, but let's go get into more detail about this. Why did you make a separate channel for Osu Shorts? You started off on your main channel, but
Yeah.
you made a completely separate channel for it. Why?
I made a separate channel because, and this is also a bit sad to me, is I probably won't be making that many Osu videos anymore. I still have some, in my opinion, good Osu video topics, but uh, I still like Osu. That's the thing. But I don't want to spend hours on videos that frankly don't get the same amount of views they used to get. And although obviously making content isn't just about views, but they do motivate me, and they also can allow me to get a bit more money slash work less and spend more time on making videos. But because I still like Osu and want to make Osu stuff, shorts are for me, the perfect avenue because they're, well, not low effort. They just require less time. Time wise, they're lesser effort, but I still put in the same type of editing in those shorts as I do with my longer form videos, if not more, because they're shorter and I can do more. So they're, one, they're fun. Two, it's a way for me to still make Osu content because I do enjoy Osu. Even if I don't play the game, I still keep up with the community and I still enjoy Osu as like a concept. So
Yeah.
even though I may or may not be making more long form videos, which I will, I still have some video ideas. I have scripts literally marinating for many months. Uh, Osu content will still exist from me. It will just be in a different format. And I don't want to upload them on my main channel because I want to keep main channel shorts more closely related to the long form videos that I make. So that's the answer for why there is a new channel. Subscribe to Flow
Flower
Aim
aim
Osu.
Osu.
That's youtube.com/@flowaimosu. Same thing on TikTok, but I care less about TikTok.
Bro,
I enjoy YouTube more.
just check the link in the description. Like, don't
True,
even type that out.
true. I mean that's what I do. I'm the old-fashioned way. I like writing out links.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But since you mentioned that you like don't want to make that many also videos on your main channel, what do you see like in the future making? Like, what type of videos do you see making in the future then?
Well, I think this question can just be what videos I have planned. Well, as I mentioned before, one video is about the topic of generative AI. Another one is about what I also mentioned in the beginning, me dumbing down my technology to be more productive with uh, getting an older laptop and using an older phone.
Wait, that's the phone
Though,
you use? What phone is that?
no, I use currently I use two phones. I got
Yo,
two phones.
phones. Well, no. Okay, I'm not gonna say.
This this is the one I will still probably be carrying around because I don't. This is a relatively old iPhone. It's the iPhone 7.
Oh yeah, that's the
It
seven.
it doesn't have support for the banking applications I need to use, so I still need my a different phone. But primarily for everything else, like texting, looking at social media, I will be using probably this phone, and it has a very bad battery, but I think it's a bit beneficial because it will force me to think, okay, do I actually need to look at my phone right now and prioritize actually important things? So that's a
Hmm.
video I will be probably making, though I don't think it will be as soon as some other videos because I want this process to sort of sit in and actually get used to it. Another video is more related to uh, also tech stuff. I study computer science for those who don't know, so I've always been very interested in technology. And if you look at my second channel, b1rch, basically b1rch, there are
Bitch.
some old gaming mice reviews that I've made. I've always been interested in that aspect, but it's not like a review of anything, but it's about learning programming through a book. I think it's a something that not a lot of people do. I talked about this idea, not about the video, but just the idea of learning programming through a book with my university friends, and they're like, "Oh, that's so old school." But that's the point. I want to see if it's a viable strat, and I think it is because books are structured, books are written with a great, well, not a greater purpose, but with a more specific purpose, okay, to learn, not just to give you the definitions. And there is an end goal. Like you start a book, you end a book, and you're like, okay, I finished this, and I know the stuff that presumably what's in that book. And I have picked up a book. Uh, it's called Effective Java.
Oh,
Though the one issue with that book, one of the first sentences that I read was, "This book is not for beginners,"
cooked.
and
Cooked.
and but you know you never know what that means. Like, is it someone who has never touched an IDE, like never written any code, or someone who doesn't have like 3 years of experience?
Yeah, that's
Which
the
part of the spectrum? And
yep
unfortunately, it is the
second
higher
option.
end.
Yep.
Yeah, I
GG.
read through some chapters. I do understand the concepts, but I think it's not as beneficial to me right now. So I am going through a different book. Uh, it's called Java for Dummies. So
Oh,
it's 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 the other end of the beginner spectrum, but it's nice. I do know programming, so I can sort of get through the chapters quick. And if there's a topic I don't know about, I can actually read through it and understand it. It's a actually a very good book. It details the stuff very well. It uses anecdotes to explain certain stuff. It's pretty nicely written. I like it. But yeah, that's going to be a video and a transition video because I've been more interested in Geometry Dash and have Geometry Dash video ideas that I've had in the bank for years is going to be about the debate of which game is harder, Geometry Dash or Osu,
oh God.
because in
Okay.
my opinion, that debate is dumb. But you'll
Oh.
see my opinion in that video. So
Okay. Okay.
so yeah, but I think you can kind of understand why the debate is dumb if you have played both games or just understand how both of the games work.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So yeah,
Uh.
that's like about the future of my videos and what I'll be making.
Yep. Anything else you want to promote as well? By the way, other than that,
Mm,
I mean the following channel, of course.
yeah, the Flow Aim channel. Uh, no, I don't know. Hmm. Wait.
I mean, you
If this was like 2022 or 2023, where there were up and coming content creators, I could have given a shout out. But frankly, I don't know. I've also not followed the scene as closely, so I don't know who to give like a shout out. Someone who I watch who's underrated in the Osu scene. Pepper Crab. I that's someone I can shout out. Pepper Crab, amazing content creator, very detailed in his videos, even if they're shorter and very specific. They're very interesting, and he's definitely someone you should keep an eye out in terms of Osu content.
Yep, shout out to Pepper Crab. Also, Lucian, lock in, brother. It's been a year.
Oh my! I was thinking about him
Yeah.
when he like how long ago was it? It's insane. He probably has been working on his video longer than I've been on the Maliszewski video.
You know what? I'm gonna censor that in while editing just so we don't reveal the topic.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
my bad. I didn't think about it.
Wardrobe crazy.
Whoops.
Yep. Leak.
I live at 308.
Yeah.
No,
But
I
I
don't.
think
I could add one more final thing. Maybe
uh-huh.
I think some people are would also be curious about uh, how long the Maliszewski video actually took, because I think that's an interesting topic, and I also want to detail why it took so long and the process of making a video that long, because I think it's an interesting story, but I don't want it to like make a separate video. So my final sort of contribution to this conversation would
Uh-huh.
be the timeline of making the Maliszewski movie. So it all
Uh-huh.
started roughly in middle of March 2025. I got the idea, I started writing the script, and I got in contact with Maliszewski. As I mentioned before, I took I didn't allow myself to actually start working on the video until I was done with the exams. Though I did make the intro very
Mm-hmm.
early on, and I think it was untouched. So everything you see until I start talking about Osu as a game was made almost a year ago. So that's why some things are a bit unfortunate to include, like including board yes as an example for not every top player is a top tournament performer is a bit unfortunate on my part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, after I was done with the exams, I more or less grinded out the video during the summer. I think I got down the first 2 hours of the video, so until like hour two, I got down in the summer. But here's the thing with a video that long: the first hour is fine. It's the beginning of editing. It's nice, but then you get to the hour one to two, and you're like, okay, I've been doing this for like 2 months or like a month and a half, and you're like, damn, I'm not even halfway through. So that was a bit demotivating. And I also started university. So after uh, I think it took me like 2 weeks to finish the first hour and like 2 months to finish the second hour of the video. And then I started university. I took a month off to sort of get in the ropes of university. I got a sponsorship from the desk, the ergonomic desk and chair company, and we almost had we did have an agreement. Everything was like in process. I had a deadline. I chose like a desk I would show in my video,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't have a warehouse close to my country, so the deal fell, which is sad. But at the same time, the video wouldn't have the OWC, so in a way, it was good
Mm-hmm.
that it fell through. Uh, in addition, I got an hour of the video done in a week. I think I have notes written in this booklet that I use as a wrist rest about the progress when I was making that video, when I was making that specific hour. I kind of documented every day. Uh, but yeah, then I had some delays because I was definitely unmotivated to make the video, and I sort of coped that okay, I need the OWC, and then I can finish the video. But I didn't even work on the video until the OWC happened. But yeah, here's like I don't know how well it can be seen, but
Uh,
yeah, basically those are how many minutes I had done,
wait,
and if I reached my daily quota of
let me
2 minutes.
calculate that.
But yeah, there's not much to read. I think it's in Latvian anyways. But yeah,
Yep.
there are like minutes of how much I edited, and if I reach the 2 minute goal of that I set for every day. So that's actually a method that works. Setting small goals like editing 2 minutes of a video, not for 2 minutes, but 2 minutes of a video on a project that big does add up because it's an
Yeah.
hour in a month, which is would have been very productive if I did that from the very beginning. The video would have been out in September, if you could imagine. But yeah, the OWC happened, and then I think it was like a month until I got the motivation to actually finish the video. I finished it in January. So why did it take another month to upload it? I messed up my AdSense account. I tried to switch my AdSense accounts, and if you know anything about AdSense, you cannot switch it for 32 days. Well, you
Yep.
can't switch it again for 32 days. And because the other account was invalid, I couldn't make money. And I was contemplating whether or not to release the Maliszewski video with no monetization, but in the end, I was like, okay, I worked on this video for so long, I do want some sort of compensation for it, even if it's a little bit. So I waited the month. Maliszewski reviewed the video, and finally, the world could see Maliszewski, the greatest tournament
Tournament
player
player
of all
of all
time.
time.
And it's honestly, even to me, an impressive video because I think it does a lot that other documentaries don't do, like specifically the explanation of what Osu is for a more general audience, including other top players. And well, Dio is, I would say, like a relative top player, but he's more known for being a tournament analyst.
And caster as well.
And yeah, and obviously a caster, but he has very great knowledge about OSU tournaments. So the video was richer in knowledge and depthness and research, and I think the video definitely benefited from that. Plus, it was like a nice pace breaker. Like you don't hear just my voice for almost 4 hours. You also hear from Zudinator, from Bubbleman, and especially from Dio, who I think I included most out of all of them. I had plans to include Mrekk, but it was impossible to contact him. So yeah.
GG. Yeah, I guess go watch the Maliszewski documentary if you still haven't, or should I say
Yes.
the Tsar Maliszewski movie.
Bomba.
Yep.
Yes, go
Uh,
watch the Maliszewski video.
well, should I say that's essentially the well, that kind of answers the anything you want to promote question, I guess.
Also, yeah, the
Yep.
Maliszewski video, definitely
Yep.
my proudest work. Probably going
Absolutely.
to be for a very long time, but I don't mind that.
Fair enough, man. Hey, again, thank you for coming to this interview and just
Of
chilling,
course.
for this podcast episode.
Thank you
Uh,
for inviting me.
again, all links related to Birch will be in the description. Be sure to follow, subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.